Prehistoric forest. Imagine Jurassic Park, but instead of real, bloodthirsty jeep-munching dinos you get dilapidated, stationary dinosaur statues situated around a mediocre community pool. As a wonder this park did not appeal to 21st century curiosity. Opened in 1963, the park had a smoking volcano, waterfall, water slide, and 100 fiberglass dinosaurs sprinkled across the 8-acre property. Since closing in 1999, the property has been on and off the market, all the while in complete disuse. As the years have gone by, the park continues to revert back to forest, and the dinosaur dioramas have begun to blend into the natural world. Pripyat Amusement Park. The Pripyat Amusement Park in Pripyat, Ukraine is an abandoned amusement park. It was to be opened on May 1, 1986 in time for the May Day celebrations. Decorations for this event are still in place in Pripyat today, but the plans were interrupted when on April 26 the Chernobyl disaster occurred a few kilometers away. The park was open for a couple of hours on April 27 to keep the city people entertained before the announcement to evacuate the city was made, citation needed. Today, the park, and in particular the Ferris wheel, are a symbol of the Chernobyl disaster. The amusement park itself is located behind the Palace of Culture in the center of the city. PURITAS Springs Amusement Park. PURITAS Spring Park was an amusement park in Cleveland, Ohio and operated from 1898 to 1958.
QINGDAO International Beer City. QINGDAO International Beer City was an amusement park in Shandong, China and operated from 1998 to 2010.
ROCK-A-HOOLA Water Park. Lake Dolores Water Park, which also operated under the names Lake Dolores, ROCK-A-HOOLA Water Park, and Discovery Water Park, is a defunct water park in Newberry Springs in the Mojave Desert of Southern California. It operated from 1962 to 2004.
GLEN Park. Known by a variety of names over its 101-year existence, GLEN Park was a park near Moosic, Pennsylvania, USA. Founded by Arthur Frothingham in 1886 as a picnic park, it was transformed into an amusement park by engineer and entrepreneur Frederick Ingersoll in 1905. The trolley park was a popular Pennsylvania attraction that featured rides, arcades, and restaurants, even as a Wild West theme park in the 1970s until its closure in 1987.
Rocky Point Amusement Park. When it was built in 1847, Rocky Point was pretty much the neatest thing in all of Rhode Island. It had everything an East Coast Victorian family could want: a Ferris wheel, picturesque waterfront views, a classy dining hall, and a long pier perfect for strolling. And as far as amusement parks, Rocky Point lasted a pretty long time. It enjoyed continued popularity and was able to evolve with the times, that is until the early 1990s took their toll. SHAHR-E. SHAHR-E Marine World was an animal/entertainment park in Galveston, Texas, for 25 years. Opened in 1965 as one of the first ocean-themed parks in the nation, it featured more than 25 acres of entertainment, including a 4-acre ski lake and a 50-foot-long, 200,000-gallon aquarium. This aquarium held large and small fish as well as large sharks that were part of the shark feeding shows. Many kids and parents enjoyed the dolphins, sea lions, killer whales, bird shows, ski shows, big cats, snakes, turtles, sea otters, pelicans, and more. By 1988 SHAHR-E was the #1 tourist attraction in Galveston, until the larger, more flashy SEAWORLD opened in San Antonio, which contributed to its closing in 1990. SeaWorld Ohio. SeaWorld Ohio was a park in the SeaWorld chain of marine animal theme parks. The park opened in 1970 directly across and less than 1 mile from Geauga Lake in Aurora, Ohio, USA. The small lake separated the two parks. Today this land is occupied by a water park owned by Cedar Fair. Unlike other SeaWorld parks, SeaWorld Ohio had no rides while the others added a few each in the 1990s. SeaWorld had an agreement with Geauga Lake not to compete. Both parks actually complemented each other and worked together on many promotions over the years. Also, though both parks were only a mile apart, they were in separate towns. SeaWorld also had restrictions placed on them from their town not allowing them to build rides. As other SeaWorld parks expanded into more entertainment, SeaWorld Ohio was unable to. Also, it was tough running this park with the cold winter climate, making the park only able to operate late spring to early fall, while Orlando and San Diego operate year-round and San Antonio only closes a few winter months. Geauga Lake was sold in 1995 to Premier Parks, and expanded to add another roller coaster at that time. Long before the sale to Premier, Geauga Lake had a water park as part of their theme park since the early 1980s, plus they offered a beach at the small lake until the late 1980s. They added a wave pool in the mid-1980s there. In 1998, Premier Parks bought the Six Flags Company and rebranded Geauga Lake Six Flags Ohio. At that point, Six Flags refused to cross-promote with SeaWorld Ohio. Attendance at SeaWorld was down. Busch Entertainment Corporation parent company Anheuser-Busch opted in 2000 to exit the market, closing the park and selling the land. Six Flags then approached Busch about buying SeaWorld Ohio. Busch accepted the offer from Six Flags for $110 million in January 2001. Six Flags then combined their Six Flags Ohio, Geauga Lake, Park with SeaWorld to form a megapark known as Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. During this era, the park became known as the wildlife side of the park, which had no rides or slides. The other side of the park had rides, slides, and a wave pool. From 1997 to 2001, Six Flags had added 5 roller coasters to that side of the park. Business was still low and had actually gone down from when both parks were separate. Six Flags did expand a water park in 2000, but this did not boost business. Many thought Cedar Point, 100 miles northwest of this park, 60 miles west of Cleveland, still had most of the business in the market. Six Flags also had additional financial problems as well. Six Flags intended to sell a few properties, but this was not originally to be one of them. In November of 2003, Cedar Fair approached Six Flags about buying Worlds of Adventure, and Six Flags originally declined. But in March of 2004, after realizing a turnaround would take a long time, decided last minute to sell the megapark to Cedar Fair for $145 million, in which the park on both sides returned to its original name, Geauga Lake. Cedar Fair immediately shut down the wildlife/former SeaWorld side of the park for the 2004 season and quickly unbranded/unflagged the park, changing the name of many rides and the name of the water area from Hurricane Harbor to Hurricane Hannah. Many of the roller coasters changed names, plus references to Warner Brothers characters and superheroes were dumped due to Six Flags not including the rights with the sale to use those names. In 2005, the former SeaWorld/Wildlife side was transformed into a small water park with the name Wildwater Kingdom. It had a couple slides and a new wave pool. The Geauga Lake theme park side continued to have water park attractions that year as well. In 2006, the slides from the Geauga Lake side were moved to the former SeaWorld side as well. That year, the water park was solely on the former SeaWorld side. The Geauga Lake side was only rides, including some roller coasters, flat rides, and some dry water rides. The wave pool on that side was closed off with preparations to fill it in and redevelop the area. All this time the water park was included with Geauga Lake admission. Still, under Cedar Fair, business remained slow throughout 2004, 2005, and 2006. A few roller coasters were even removed and sent to other parks. In 2007, rumors about the closing of the parks on both sides became rampant, and management refused to deny or confirm rumors, or even comment on them. At the end of the 2007 season, Cedar Fair opted to close Geauga Lake but keep the water park side, formerly the SeaWorld Park, open. This park was renamed Geauga Lake's Wildwater Kingdom. Many buildings and parts of themes are implemented and still used in Wildwater Kingdom. Although Geauga Lake closed its doors, Wildwater Kingdom remains open. The Geauga Lake side of the park still stands minus all the rides except for 3 wooden roller coasters, one of which is standing but of course not operating. The future of that land is still uncertain at this time. SHAHEEN'S FUN-O-RAMA. SHAHEEN'S FUN-O-RAMA was a small amusement park at Salisbury Beach, Massachusetts. It was basically a collection of portable rides set up in a permanent location. Probably the rides most memorable were the Himalaya and the Witch Castle. My earliest visit there was in the summer of 1966. My final visit was in spring 1971. FUN-O-RAMA was located on what is now the parking lot of the new Pavilion, 2010. The miniature golf pictured here was separate, it was on Broadway. SHAHR-E BAZI Amusement Park. SHAHR-E BAZI Amusement Park was located in Iran and operated from 1970 to 2007. SHERMAN'S Amusement Park. SHERMAN'S Amusement Park was located in Caroga Lake, New York and operated from to 2003. Six Flags ASTROWORLD. Six Flags ASTROWORLD was a seasonally operated theme park located on approximately 57 acres of land, later expanded to over 75 acres between Kirby Drive and Fannin Avenue, directly south of Loop 610 in Houston, Texas, USA. Opening on June 1, 1968, ASTROWORLD was originally developed and constructed as part of the Astrodome, the brainchild of local philanthropist and former Houston Mayor Judge Roy Hofheinz, who intended it to complement the Astrodome. ASTROWORLD was sold to the Six Flags Corporation by the Hofheinz family in 1975. Although the fourth park to be included in the Six Flags family of theme parks, it was the first park to be purchased by that company instead of being built. It was marketed as ASTROWORLD, a member of the Six Flags family, so as to not confuse patrons with Six Flags Over Texas located in Arlington, Texas. Many variations of this naming scheme emerged from the Six Flags marketing department over the years. Despite these attempts at branding the park, most people continued to call it ASTROWORLD, and the company eventually responded by making the individual park's name more prominent. Similarly, Fiesta Texas in San Antonio, Texas has been marketed as Fiesta Texas, a Six Flags theme park. ASTROWORLD was permanently closed by the Six Flags Corporation after its final day of operations on October 30, 2005. It was demolished between October 30, 2005 and the first half of 2006, although parts of Waterworld were being demolished prior to the final operating day at ASTROWORLD. The bridge crossing Loop 610 from the park to the parking lot continues to stand and is the last remaining structure from ASTROWORLD. The area where ASTROWORLD once stood is still grassland and is used for overflow parking during the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Six Flags Atlantis. Six Flags Atlantis was a water park occupying several prime acres of real estate at the intersection of I-95 and Sterling Road in Hollywood, Florida. It was born Atlantis, the Water Kingdom, designed and built by a local developer who ran out of funds before the park could open. For several years it remained in a state of partial completion. BAZI, the parent company of Six Flags, then purchased at least part of the park and it finally opened in about 1984 as Six Flags Atlantis. The park facilities included a 7-story slide tower, a lake with water skiing shows, a wave pool, and dozens of other shows and activities. Atlantis did have some inherent problems. First, it was located just a couple of miles from Dania Beach and minutes away from the world-famous beaches in Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Second, its operating schedule was subject to the whims of the weather. Thunderstorms, all too common during hazy South Florida afternoons, could close the park for hours. In the off-seasons, unpredictable cold fronts might reduce attendance at a fully staffed park to a couple hundred guests, and unexpected warm days often found the closed park turning away potential customers. Six Flags sold the park at some point around 1989, and it reopened under new management with the name, Atlantis, the Water Kingdom. But in the end it was damaged from 1992's Hurricane Andrew, which closed the park's gates forever. Six Flags New Orleans. Six Flags New Orleans, also abbreviated to SFNO, is an abandoned theme park in New Orleans, Louisiana that has been closed since just before Hurricane Katrina struck in August 2005 and is currently owned by the city of New Orleans. Six Flags had previously owned the park since March 2002, but after assessing the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina and the related exorbitant expenses of repairing the damage, sought to terminate their 75-year lease with the city, beginning in July 2006 and finally succeeding in September 2009. The park is located in eastern New Orleans, in the 9th ward of the city, off Interstate 10. Despite various announced plans to redevelop the site, as of July 2013, it is still an abandoned amusement park in extremely poor condition. It is a well-known urban exploration destination, although visitors are subject to arrest for trespassing.